All right, let's talk about the Serpent, newest champion in the contest. And boy, is he a doozy, but we'll get there. He has Death Immunity, Bleed Resistance, Dread, and Cold Force charges. And I gotta admit, I have fun playing this guy. He's actually quite fun. We're gonna dive all into that. You ain't gotta worry about that. But first up, let's talk about his combos. He doesn't have a tricky combo at all. He was actually pretty fun to play. Like I don't think you really need to do medium like medium. You can just play him in the normal way, and he doesn't have like a clunky or a 2-hit medium or a 2-hit light or anything of that nature. His specials are really entertaining to watch. Also really hard to dex because he can shut down the dexterity mastery. And overall, he was just easy. Like his heavy was like not tricky. Definitely got to work on the spacing, of course, but overall, really fun champion, easy combo, and animations are just kabam, knocked out the park yet again with another champion. So, wow. Let's talk about his strengths first. So, what are his strengths? One of his strengths is surviving damage. The Serpent is very hard to kill. Between his increased base armor rating, his mitigation of critical hits, and his burst damage, and his signature ability, he can outlast most opponents, buying himself time to finish the job. So yes, we have another champion in the contest that has a cheat death mechanic. And boy, is this a doozy. It's not like Hercules. He does heal from it, but I don't think it can be nullified or staggered either. So he's just the total package. Like, you can't extend his cheat death mechanic in my opinion, but we'll see. Also, he has anti-miss and evade. You can run, but you can't hide. The Serpent is the first champion with true focus on an ability that prevents the opponent from evading or causing attacks to miss. It's possible for an attacking Serpent to have this buff active for nearly the entire fight, and eventually he begins to deal damage to opponents bold enough to attempt such cowardly abilities. So he shuts down both evade and miss. First and only champion in the game that has true focus. And that's a reason right there to get him. Another one of his abilities is power gain. The Serpent has already access to frequent special attacks that allow him to better manage the tempo and spacing of fights. So this dude comes into the contest with a lot of utility and a lot of unique abilities, and I already can see it. He's going to be annoying, and if I grinded for champions, he'd probably be one of the first I ever grind for. I think he's definitely worth it in my opinion. But he does have weaknesses. Let's talk about his weaknesses. Frequent special attacks. The God of Fear does not take well to being knocked down by special attacks. Enough of them can slow or even reverse his ability to access increasingly powerful abilities. So a champion like Dr. Voodoo or Hyperion, great counters for him. They're not the only ones either, but when it comes to throwing repeated specials, they were the two that I found most unique. I'm pretty sure someone else will find even more. I'm pretty sure my chat will find more. Another one of his weaknesses was champions that can block the unblockable. Characters who can resist the block break from an unblockable effect badly hurt an attacking Serpent's damage output. So anyone who can block the unblockable. So right off the top of my head, Mr. Sinister, Kushala are the two that came to mind that can block the unblockable. Another one of his weaknesses is damage over time. The Serpent is the first champion to directly resist instant damaging effects or those with a base duration of 0 seconds. But this leaves him vulnerable to more traditional damage over time effects like degeneration and poison. He's also not really well with unstoppable. He's not really good with ruptures or shock. So that's also, he doesn't have like total immunity or like a damage over time. So keep that in mind. But he does have immunities. One of his immunities is he's cold snap immune. Now don't get that with frostbite immune. He's cold snap immune, not frostbite immune. He can definitely resist it. And in this fight, I actually get knocked down, and I do pick up a few frostbites. So keep that in mind. I don't want you to think he's immune to frostbite and cold snap. He's not. But that is a unique ability. And right there, as you can see, I got hit, and there's a frostbite. So he's not immune to frostbite. I can't say that enough because I want people to get that mixed up, because people love saying, well, he's cold snap and frostbite immune. He's not. He's only one immune. He's only cold snap immune. He's also bleed resistant. Now, he's not immune to it, but it does fall off 90% faster. So I'm not going to say he's good for the damage masteries because he's not good with poison, but if you want to put on double edge, maybe. Let's talk about his awaken ability. His awaken ability is kind of unique. Let's talk about it. Each cold force charge grants up to plus 277 attack rating, scaling with how close the opponent is to the wall. So the closer the opponent is to the wall, the harder they're going to hit. The Serpent gains immunity to stun effects during the opponent's special attacks. So if he's awakened and you throw a special attack with Hercules, he's going to be immune to that SP2, that stun that comes with that SP2. And once per fight, when the Serpent will be knocked out, he has a 125% chance to consume all dread to gain a death immunity buff for 8 seconds. This buff cannot be staggered or nullified. For each dread consumed, the buff also recovers 1.25% max health and grants 10% of a bar power per second. So the higher the SIG, the better it is. And in my opinion, I would definitely use an awakening gem on him. I definitely think he's worth it. I would probably use a generic, and I also use generic 6 stones because his utility, everything he brings to the table is well worth it in my opinion. I had so much fun testing him, and I think the contest needed a champion like this because he's just different. I'm not saying he's the best in the game, but he's definitely different than he would be at SIG 1. So if you have an awakening gem, even with the 5-star, I probably would still bring him to Battlegrounds because I definitely think he's worth it. Overall, great champion in my opinion. And I might be tempted to grind for him because he's, oh man, so much utility. He has some of the best utility in the game right off the jump. His prestige is 18,420, so not bad prestige for a 6-star rank 5, 6,200. I don't know if that would put him in the top 5 though. I don't know. I don't really keep up with prestige as much as I used to anymore, so we'll talk about that at a different time. But overall, Awaken ability, I'm loving it. Well done. Next up, let's talk about his synergy. So one of his synergies is what's that called? Mister of Justice. Unique synergy. Synergy champions, while their opponent is below 25% max health, gain 20% Flourish passive. And Hammer Time. Synergy champion. Hammer attacks gains plus 20% attack rating. So they're okay synergies. With Thor, Jane Foster, Calypso, and Iron Man Infinity War for the Hammer Time, and Minister of Justice, the Destroyer, and Odin. So I would definitely go with the Destroyer and Odin synergy. You know, gain 20% pure passive. I feel like that'll be definitely beneficial, but I don't see many people taking up Thor, Jane Foster for anything. Maybe Calypso, maybe Iron Man, but the other two, so that's okay. That's an okay synergy. His other 2 synergies I like a lot. They are Polearm Pals. Striking the opponent while their back is against the wall grants a 500 potency cruelty buff for 6 sessions. This does not reapply if active, only if it did. And the main event, calls worthy instant damage effect, gain 15% potency. The Serpent personal fury effects are 8% more potent for each calls worthy champion on the team. So more potent synergies, and those synergies with Absman, Titania, and Atuma, and the Destroyer and Odin, that's a pretty good team in my opinion. Now on defense, I gotta let y'all know now, this dude, he's gonna be tricky on defense because he shuts down the Dexterity Mastery and he goes unblockable. But I found a way around that. If you dash back far enough, when he throws his special, you can out time the unblockable, but you cannot really dex his specials efficiently. He shuts down the Dexterity Mastery, so be cognizant of that. Kabam knows how reliant the community is on the Dexterity Mastery, and so having this guy shut down the entire mastery and go unblockable and have Pierce is just wow. Now, I'm not going to say he's unstoppable. Like Doom here was a good counter, but it looks like he blocked my unblockable attack. I don't remember me reading that in the notes, so maybe he can also block the unblockable. But wow, this dude is very, very interesting and counter entertaining. I think Doom is still pretty much a good counter. Any champion that can steal his buffs are going to do really well against him. But he kept this. I think he made shut down the unblockable because I didn't even see a proc in that particular fight. I tried here with Immortal Abomination and it went okay, but again, since he hit so hard through the block and you can't really dex his specials, he's going to be taking tons of block damage in Battlegrounds, and that is just not going to be fun. So I'm pretty sure my chat's going to be able to figure out good counters for him. I think Archangel would still work for him. The regular nukes torch with the Noble Flame might be a pretty good counter in my opinion. But he's going to be tricky, and I think y'all should be prepared for that because, oh man, and then he has that ability where you can't knock him back and he will just stay right in front of you. I don't even know what that's called, but I'll tell you one thing, it's very much annoying, like trying to get this dude against the wall when he won't move. So just be careful facing this guy in Battlegrounds. that the fact that he shuts down dexterities, he's rated in the group with Photon, and this dude starts with 4 charges in Battlegrounds. It's actually built into his kit, so goodness gracious, he's interesting champion. Let's talk about his relics. I found 2 good relics for him. One was Miss Marvel. This relic grants additional punishment for using the Serpent's true focus to bypass evade abilities. So I think that would maybe the best relic for him. But also there was another relic I found for him. It was the Thor relic. This relic improves the Serpent's large fury from Dread. So more Dread, more fury. And with the Thor relic, you only can go up from there. Absolutely amazing. So those are 2 relics I would definitely recommend. I'll probably go with the Miss Marvel relic first, but you can choose. The mastery I thought he was good with was the recovery mastery. More healing on your death immunity could make the difference in a fight. So having that recovery mastery maxed out will only benefit his cheat death mechanic that he has. So I don't think he will be good for the damage mastery. So, you know, liquid courage and double edge and recoil, he's not going to fail well because you need to throw specials, and he's not good with poison. He will shake off the bleed really quickly, but that poison is definitely going to eat away at his health. So I wouldn't recommend playing him with the damage mastery. It's not worth your time. I would just save it and turn them off when you play him, or if you pull him from the crystal. But overall, the recovery master was the best one I could find for him. So keep that in mind. Last but not least, what are my overall thoughts on this guy? I can't even lie. I like this guy. I like his utility. I like the fact that he can go unblockable. I like that he has Pierce. He has a cheat death mechanic. He has power gain. He counters the best champion in the game, which is Hercules. I think he just overall a well-designed champion, and I love his animations. I gotta admit, I was not expecting Serpent to be this good. I thought he was going to be the secondary champion with Destroyer coming to the contest, but the fact that he shuts down an entire mastery with dexterity, and the fact that he benefits in Battlegrounds as an attacker, you start off with 4 Dread, that can only help you. So I definitely think he's worth an arena grind for this guy. He has the prestige, he has the utility, he has the unblockable. There's not much bad to say about him. I would definitely also ascend him too. I was using a generic Awakening Dim, put generic 6 tones in him. I think he's just an overall good champion. And I can't wait to see what everyone does with him in the contest, but this is just gonna make Battlegrounds harder than what it already is. Oh man, I'm not gonna be looking forward to that. So my overall thoughts, solid champion, and I will be planning to get him and ranking him up. But if you did enjoy this video, please hit that like button. And for anyone new here, can you hit that sub button? I greatly appreciate it. Take care. Have a great and wonderful day.